All right, what is going on, Notre Dame fans? I'm Tyler Horka, that's Jack Sobel, and we are here at Notre Dame Stadium where the Fighting Irish improved to 2-0 this season with a 56-3 victory over the Tennessee State Tigers. Jack, let's just get your initial thoughts. It was as dominant of a performance as the scoreline suggests pretty much in every phase of this football game.
Yeah, Tyler, absolutely. Notre Dame got off to a bit of a slow start, which you can kind of expect coming off that transatlantic trip. But after they kind of adjusted, fixed some of the self-inflicted mistakes they were making early, Marcus Freeman said himself, we tell our players not to beat Notre Dame. Early, especially on defense, they were beating Notre Dame, but they got it adjusted, they got it fixed, and they did exactly what they should do to Tennessee State, an FCS opponent, 156-3.
Offensively, Sam Hartman led touchdown drives on all 5 of his possessions, wasn't it? 35-3 at halftime. He ends up 14 of 17 for 194 yards, I believe it was. A couple touchdowns, a touchdown rush, which was honestly one of the plays of the game. I think it was only from 5 yards out, but he kind of scrambled on a keeper, darted up the middle, and did a somersault with the oncoming Tennessee State defender. Somersault. Marcus Freeman said after the game he would like his star quarterback to probably stay on his feet, not to do that, but it didn't stick the landing because, of course, you don't land on your feet in a somersault, but if you can stick the landing in a somersault, he did that. Popped up, gladiator, man in the arena style. Are you not entertained? Wave to the fans right here in the north end zone. Of course, the students are on this section, so I think they were loving it. What the students were also loving, what the fans were also loving, Steve Angeli getting the most extensive playing time that he's gotten in his career. Played the entire second half, save for the reps that Kenny Minchie got there at the end, Notre Dame's freshman quarterback. So Notre Dame goes 3 deep with the quarterbacks. I already talked about Hartman. We could talk a little bit more about him too. But first, Angeli getting that extended time. What'd you see?
Yeah, I saw some good things from Steve Angeli. The first drive was a little slow. The second drive, he made a terrific play to get out of pressure and throw that touchdown pass to Jadarian Price. And then by that point, the second team came in. They were kind of running out the clock. But Marcus Freeman did say that he made it a point to get Steve Angeli. If you notice, Angeli was the only backup who came in at the start of the second half. It was the first team the rest of the way. And the point of that was hey, there might be a scenario this season where Notre Dame has to play without Sam Hartman, and they want that first team and the coaching staff to practice we have to score points and we have to be efficient with Steve Angeli on the field. And I think this was really good for them to get that experience, and they did score points with Steve Angeli on the field.
And it wasn't like Notre Dame was, like you said, it was mostly a clock run-out type of deal there in the second half. So I don't think you saw the full extent of Steve Angeli's ability, but you saw enough to know that he can go in there and operate this thing in a pinch. So I think that was good for Notre Dame. But, yeah, his 2 touchdowns is a little bit of an inflated stat line with a 42-yard touchdown to Jadarian Price, a 40-yard touchdown to Jabron Payne. Air yards on those touchdowns, probably 10 to 15 yards total, maybe.
But the Price touchdown, even though it wasn't a ton of air yards, it was a terrific play by Angeli.
I think he had 2 defenders with him in the backfield, spun away from both of them. Get your eyes downfield, find Jadarian Price. Those 2 guys are roommates, by the way. We talked to Price after the game, and he said when he was sprinting into the end zone down here, he literally had enough time to kind of laugh to himself and say, Steve Angeli just threw me a touchdown pass. So that was pretty cool. Let's switch gears a little bit to the defense. Was it as dominant as allowing less than 150 yards? No touchdown again? Was that the kind of day Notre Dame had?
Yeah. I say yeah kind of hesitantly because it's not like they made a ton of havoc plays. They didn't really need to, but it's not like they made a ton. How many did they have? Any sacks?
1 sack.
Only 1 sack. And
Patello,
2.
I think.
Yes, Patello had the sack. Maris Leofau had that pressure. I remember that now. Mm-hmm. They had the pick six to Clarence Lewis, which even he admitted was a bit of a gift. But the defense very much did their job. Like I said, and like Freeman said at the press conference, they were making a few mistakes early, but they settled down and didn't allow anything the rest of the game. So you can't be anything but happy with the defense from today's performance.
Yeah, it's deep too. We saw some guys out there make their debuts. I won't run the list of that. Go to blueandgold.com Sunday, and you'll see a participation chart. But man, Marty Auer, Chance Tucker. Definitely a lot of guys who made
Micah Bell, the
freshman, Don Schuler, the freshman. Obviously, he was dealing with an injury over the offseason, so that was good to see him on the field. When you beat a team as badly as Notre Dame did today, you're going to see that, where you get some guys go into the game late, and I think Marcus Freeman, as much as he liked Steve Angeli playing as much as he did, getting some of those younger guys in there on defense was really good as well. I mentioned that we might talk a little bit more about Sam Hartman. I think we should, just because I think I ran the numbers through 2 games, really 1.5. He didn't play in the second half today. 33 of 40, which is over 80% completion for 445 yards, 6 touchdown passes, no interceptions. He has that rushing score that I talked about. I know it's Navy. I know it's Tennessee State. And a little parched here, I'm sorry. Navy, Tennessee State. NC State kind of has his number. He talked about that in the postgame, where you're like, this is for real now. Notre Dame's going off to Raleigh next week. He's 1-2 against that team. I think it's 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions against NC State in his career. But right now, what we've seen from him through 2 games, it's everything Notre Dame wanted, right?
It is incredible how much Hartman raises both this team's floor and this team's ceiling. Like the one that stuck out to me was that 38-second drive at the end of the first half, where I was talking about it with some other reporters in the food line at halftime, and we're like, yeah, this is just Tennessee State, but man, he was surgical with his accuracy on some of those throws to Mitchell Evans that he had. Just with how well he saw the field and the touchdown to Holden Stays, like. The precision was just unbelievable with Sam Hartman, and Freeman talked about it after the game. Like, yeah, Hartman's talented, but it's his 6th year, and he's a talented guy who's been through this so many times before. There's no substitute for experience. Sam Hartman has a ton of experience, and he really helps this team going forward.
And another thing that Marcus Freeman said after the game was there's a lot of quarterback. I think last year with Notre Dame, Drew Pine, Tyler Buckner, I don't think even against Tennessee State, Marcus Freeman is calling timeouts with 1 minute left, with the ball as backed up as I guess Tennessee State was probably around the 20-yard line, so it was a conventional punt. Notre Dame's going to have to go 60 to 70 yards, probably 50 at best, to score a touchdown. And Marcus Freeman was like, you know what, this makes sense. I'm going to do it. We have Sam Hartman. So that's just, like you said, elevation of the floor, elevation of the ceiling. He's a different dude at quarterback. Anything you think that we need to touch on that we haven't talked about yet?
No, let's just cap it off and say, again, they took care of business like they needed to these past 2 weeks. They exceeded my and even your expectations last week. And now the fun begins.
Yeah.
Now Notre Dame plays a really tough NC State team.
Good defense.
Really good defense. Quarterback in Brendan Armstrong, who adds a facet to their offense in his running ability that they did not have before. Yeah. They're not going to be an easy win next week at NC State, and we're looking forward to covering it.
And it's a true road game too, which Notre Dame has not played yet. Obviously, the Ireland game, I was there. It felt like a home game. It very much was all Irish. Obviously, here at Notre Dame Stadium, all Irish. We'll leave you with this. Sam Hartman said after the game, those fans in Raleigh are going to be fired up. They've seen this guy play a few times. They would love to get him one more time in his career. 1-3 against NC State is what it would be if the Wolfpack managed to win that game. And Hartman said, they're not going to like us. And I think that is basically what Notre Dame gets from everybody each and every week, especially on the road. So, again, I'm Tyler Horka. That's Jack Sobel. Notre Dame won 56-3 today to improve to 2-0.